Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. But who is he? Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. And who is he? Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. And what he do? And it's gonna react to all the self-snitching.
Hi, this is Bruce Rivers. Welcome to another episode of Criminal Lawyer Reacts. I'm Bruce Rivers, board-certified criminal defense lawyer. Today we are reacting to the news that they have dropped the charges on Alec Baldwin. What? The armorer is still charged, but the Alec Baldwin charges have been dismissed. But before we get to that, this is brought to you by eSign.com. eSign.com, a very effective way to remotely do business. Let's say you're the prosecutor and you really don't feel like going anywhere, so you want to e-sign a document to make sure that these charges get dismissed. You don't want to deal with anybody. So what do? You download the app. You get 3 free signatures a month. If it's not e-sign, no one signs. You know, I use it all the time and I say this in every episode, but it's true. I do this with plea agreements sometimes, especially we're doing a lot of Zoom court. Sometimes you're not with the client, so what do? We e-sign a document. It's just an effective way to get some business done quickly. So eSign.com, a very effective way to remotely do business. So let's talk about what Alec Baldwin's charged with to begin with. He was charged with involuntary manslaughter. And involuntary manslaughter consists of manslaughter committed in the commission of an unlawful act not amounting to a felony, or in the commission of a lawful act which might produce death in an unlawful manner without caution and circumspection. One of the terms that is used is culpable negligence. In other words, it's something more than just regular old-fashioned negligence. And in this case, the negligence is the negligent use of a deadly weapon. And so let's kind of go through the elements here real quick. Discharging a firearm into any building or vehicle so as to knowingly endanger any persons. Carrying a firearm while under the influence of alcohol or narcotic, but that's not part of it. Endangering the safety of another by handling or using a firearm or other deadly weapon in a negligent manner. That's the one right there that he's charged with. And discharging a firearm within 150 yards of a dwelling, blah, blah, blah. So it's that last one. And the term without due caution and circumspection, that means, you know, you have the gun, you are responsible for the end of that barrel, that kind of thing. My sense is that a lot of stuff came out when they investigated this case, and the defense did a remarkable job of putting together some facts that Alec Baldwin really was careful, and that he was able to rely on somebody else to know that the firearm was safe. Even though I do honestly think that he made some statements that were not true when he gave his interviews. But I'm not at all surprised that they dismissed these charges. Very difficult to prove, because one of the elements is you have to have sort of a mens rea. Mens rea is the criminal intent. So not that you intended to shoot, but that you had an awareness and you disregarded that risk. That's one of the things about a manslaughter case, is that you acted in the face of danger and not even giving a hoot about what you're doing or how you're doing it. And Alec Baldwin, I have to say, he's been pretty quiet since he retained these lawyers, and I think that has been the smartest thing. Now watch, he's going to give some interview in the near future. I guarantee he's going to come on TV and rehab his image. And he's going to have he'll have a different tone this time, because now he thinks he's in the clear. But they can bring these charges back, so there's no statute of limitations on this. So if all of a sudden other information comes out, like let's say during the armorer's trials, because the armorer, the person who prepared the weapon, is still charged. That person is the one who put this in there, and that person should have used more due caution and circumspection, as the statute requires, because it's a direct and proximate cause of the armorer's actions, somebody died. As they put her case together, it'll be interesting to see if anything comes out to allow them, in their estimation, to recharge Alec Baldwin. I doubt it, because the facts are pretty clear as to what happened here. He didn't intend to shoot anybody. And I think most gun enthusiasts or people who are familiar with guns say you always check a gun. You always make sure that, you don't point a loaded gun at somebody. And yeah, that's true. But he did have somebody to hand him the gun And I think they said the term is cold gun. This is a cold gun. So I the DA's office looks kind of shitty, to be honest with you, to charge a case like this out. And then, but you know what, to their credit, they don't want to go down losing a case, and they don't want to charge somebody who's not guilty of crime either. So what does this mean for Alec Baldwin? Is he out of the woods? Probably. He's probably out of the woods. They could technically charge him again if they had new facts that surface for the Armorer's trial. But I doubt it. But here's the thing. Alec Baldwin did all kinds of media blitz at various stages throughout the pendency of this matter. They had a civil matter that was resolved, where they paid out a lot of money. And I think they started filming the show again. I think Alec Baldwin you kind of either love him or you hate him. And I think he's damaged his reputation a little bit by some of the insensitivity that he displayed. You look at some of the interviews that he did. He said, I don't take any responsibility. I'm not responsible. It just some of his statements just seem so fucking tone deaf when you're talking about a good friend of his that was dead at his hand. Not intentionally, but still he caused that death. He pulled the trigger, and he did pull that trigger. No question in my mind that he pulled that trigger. You saw our reaction when we did that at the gun range, when I rented a exact replica of the gun that he had. And that does not happen unless you cock it and pull the trigger. That's a very safe firearm. So this has been our reaction to Alec Baldwin and the news that they dropped his charges. And personally, I don't like to see people go to prison. I just don't, unless they really, 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 really deserve it. But, hopefully this changes how the movies, I think the actor who's got the gun in his hand needs to check that firearm, and the bullets themselves need to be marked clearly so that that they're blanks. And you don't ever point it at, they can do all kinds of things with camera angles. There's no need to point a firearm at somebody specifically. So this has been our reaction. We'll see you next time here on Criminal Lawyer Reacts. I'm Bruce Rivers, board certified criminal defense lawyer. Sign up for Patreon, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter. We'll see you next time here on Criminal Lawyer Reacts.
Bruce Rivers just broke down your case. He know all the charges that you about to face. You ain't coming home till 2058. That self-snitching gon' get you put away. Bruce Rivers just broke down your case. He know all the charges that you about to face. You ain't coming home till 2058. That self-snitching gon' get you put away. 23-hour lockdown, please, is that my God.